A biker pulls into a desert gas station just as a sheriff snaps a padlock on the door. An old woman stands there, shaking, papers falling from her hands. $47,000 in back taxes. She says she paid. County records say she didn't. The biker doesn't know her. Never seen her before in his life, but he reaches into his saddlebag. Counts out the cash, right there on the hood. The sheriff's smile dies, the old woman gasps. And somewhere in the shadows, someone starts making calls. Because this stranger just stepped into a war he doesn't understand yet. The desert heat hit like a furnace. Dalton Mercer felt it through his leather jacket, 54 years old, still riding. Still free, his Harley rumbled beneath him. That deep, V-twin growl. The only sound he needed. Route 66 stretched ahead, empty, silent, beautiful. He'd been on this road before. 20 years ago, maybe Montana waited at the end. A cabin, a porch, retirement. But not yet. First, he wanted one last ride. One last taste of the mother road. The asphalt shimmered in the heat. Mirage pools that disappeared as he approached. Dalton had made his peace with moving on. Sold his workshop in Sacramento. Cash deal. $180,000 in his saddlebag. No family waiting, no wife, no kids, just him and the road. That's how he liked it. Then he saw the police cars, 3 of them, parked outside a gas station. Not just any gas station. An old one. Real old. The kind you don't see anymore. Hand-painted sign. Blackwood's last stop, neon tubes. Half of them dead, single pump. Probably older than Dalton. A sheriff's vehicle sat front and center. Door open. Lights flashing. Dalton slowed down. Something wasn't right. He'd learned to trust that feeling. 30 years on a bike teaches you things, ride situations, read people, stay alive. He pulled into the lot, kicked the stand, cut the engine. The silence hit him. No wind, just heat, just dust. Then he heard it, a woman's voice, old, shaking. Please, I paid. I have the receipts. Dalton walked closer. A sheriff stood at the door. Big guy, 40-something, uniform pressed, sunglasses on badge, said, Clayton. He held a padlock, industrial size. Heavy duty, the kind you don't break without tools, ma'am. This is a county tax line. Clayton's voice was flat. Official. You owe $47,000 in back property taxes. The woman stood in the doorway. 75, maybe 80. White hair pulled back. Floral dress. Hands shaking, she clutched a folder. Papers spilling out. I paid every year, she said. Every single year. Check my bank statements. Clayton didn't look at the papers. County records say otherwise, he said. I'm executing a seizure order. Effective immediately. He pushed past her. Started threading the padlock through the door handles. Dalton stopped walking. 10 feet away. What's the amount? He asked. Clayton turned. Looked Dalton up and down. Leather cut. Hell's Angels patch on the back. Faded. But visible. Boots. Gray in the beard. This doesn't concern you, Clayton said. Dalton didn't move. I asked the amount. The old woman looked at him, eyes wet, hope flickering. Clayton's jaw tightened. $47,000 and plus penalties. How much total? $47,000 covers it. For now, Dalton nodded, walked back to his bike. Clayton smiled, thought the biker was leaving. But Dalton opened his saddlebag, pulled out a leather pouch, walked back, unzipped it. Cash. Banded stacks, hundreds. He counted out 5,000, right there. On the hood of the sheriff's car. Clayton's smile died. There, Dalton said. Debt paid. The old woman gasped, hand over her mouth. Clayton stared at the money. Then at Dalton. You don't even know her, he said. Dalton looked at the woman, then back at Clayton. Don't need to, he said. She needs help. I can help. Simple math. Clayton's face turned red, but he couldn't refuse. Not with the money sitting there. He picked up the stacks, counted them. Slowly, every bill. Every band. Finally, he pulled out a receipt book, wrote it up, handed it to the woman. Paid in full, he said, voice tight. For now, he unlocked the padlock, tossed it in his car. Looked at Dalton one more time. You just made a big mistake, friend, huh? Dalton smiled. Cold. Empty. I've made bigger. Clayton got in his car, slammed the door, drove off. The other deputies followed. Dust settled. The old woman stood there, shaking, crying. Dalton turned to leave. Wait, please. What's your name? He paused. Dalton. She wiped her eyes. I'm Vera. Vera Blackwood. She extended her hand. Dalton shook it, gentle. Her bones felt like bird wings. Why did you do that? She asked. Dalton looked at the gas station, at the old pumps. The faded paint. Someone helped me once, said. Long time ago. When I needed it, Vera's eyes searched his face. Come inside, she said. Please, let me make you coffee. It's the least I can do. Dalton hesitated. Montana waited. The open road waited, but something in her voice. Something familiar. All right, he said. Coffee sounds good. The office was small, cramped, but clean old desk, filing cabinets, a coffee maker that probably came from the 70s, photos on the wall, black and white, faded color prints. Vera poured coffee into chipped mugs. Her hands still shook. Cream? Sugar? She asked. Black? Dalton said. She handed him the cup. Sat down across from him. For a moment neither spoke, just the sound of the AC unit, rattling. Fighting the desert heat, Dalton looked at the photos. One caught his eye, a young couple, standing in front of this very station. 1968, maybe the man wore an army uniform. The woman, a sundress. Both smiling. That's my husband, Vera said. Followed his gaze. Thomas took that picture the day he came home.
Came home from where?
Korea. Korean War. He served with the 1st Cavalry. Dalton nodded. Respect in his eyes. He buy this place after? He asked. Built it, Vera's, in her voice.
From nothing.
1952. Just him and 2 other guys. She stood, walked to the photo, touched the frame. Thomas said this land spoke to him. Right here, on Route 66. He said, people would always need a place to stop, to rest, to refuel. She turned back to Dalton. For 60 years he proved it. Dalton sipped his coffee. Where's Thomas now? Vera's face fell. Gone. 5 years now. Cancer, I'm sorry, don't be. He lived a full life, a good life. He died right here, in this building. Said he wouldn't have it any other way. She sat back down, hands wrapped around her mug. Before he died, he made me promise something. What's that? Keep this place open. Keep helping people. He said this station wasn't just about gas. It was about community. Dalton looked around, saw it now. The worn chairs, the water cooler, the bulletin board with local notices. How many people stop here? He asked. Not many anymore, Vera admitted. Interstate pulled most traffic away. But the ones who come, they need us. She paused. Elderly folks traveling on fixed income. I let them pay for gas over time. Weekly, monthly, whatever they can manage. Dalton raised an eyebrow. That legal? Vera smiled. Sad. Tired. Probably not, but it's right. Thomas taught me that. Legal and right aren't always the same thing. Dalton thought about that. Nodded. So why does the sheriff want you gone, he asked. Vera's smile disappeared. That's the question, isn't it? She stood, grabbed a folder from the filing cabinet. Thick, stuffed with papers, dropped it on the desk in front of Dalton. This started 3 years ago, right after Clayton got elected sheriff. Dalton opened the folder, scanned the contents, tax, notices, citations, inspection reports. Property taxes doubled the first year, Vera said. I paid, every penny. She pointed to bank statements, highlighted entries. Then they doubled again. I paid again, took out a loan, but I paid. And this year? This year they said I never paid any of it. They said their records show I'm 3 years behind. Dalton looked at her bank statements. Clear as day. Payments made. Cleared. You have proof, he said. They don't care. County says their system is right. My bank says the money left my account. Nobody knows where it went. She pulled out another stack of papers. Then the inspection started. Fire code violations, health code violations, environmental concerns. Dalton flipped through them. Ridiculous stuff. Minor things. Blown out of proportion. Every time I fix one thing, they find 2 more. They're trying to bury you, Dalton said. Yes, Vera's voice cracked. But why? I'm just an old woman running a gas station. Dalton saw something else in the folder. Letters, official looking. He pulled one out. Read it. Desert Land Development LLC, he said aloud. They started writing me 2 years ago, offering to buy the land. How much? First offer was $850,000. I said no. This place isn't for sale. What was the last offer? Vera looked away. Last month, $320,000. Dalton's jaw tightened. They're lowballing you, dropping the price each time. I know. They're waiting for me to give up. To get desperate, she sat down. Suddenly, looked every one of her 76 years. Today I almost did. When I saw that padlock, I thought it was over. Dalton closed the folder. Looked at her. It's not over, he said, but you paid the taxes. That doesn't solve the problem. They'll just find another way, probably, so why did you pay? Dalton leaned back, thought about how to answer that. 21 years ago, he said slowly, I was riding through here, middle of nowhere. My bike broke down. Vera listened. Eyes widening, it was summer, hot like today. I had no water, no shade. Just miles of nothing. He paused. Remembered a couple found me, older folks. They ran this gas station. Vera's breath caught. They took me in, fed me, let me sleep in their office, gave me tools to fix my bike. Wouldn't take a dime, why not? The old man said something I never forgot. He said, son, don't ever walk past someone who needs help. That's how we stay human. Dalton met Vera's eyes. Vera's hand went to her mouth. Tears came. What year was in 3? She whispered. 2003. Why? She stood. Walked to a different photo on the wall, pulled it down, showed him. The same gas station, but different, cleaner. A couple stand up front. The man, 50s, weathered, face, the woman, dark hair, kind eyes. And next to them, a young biker, 20s, lean. Harley parked behind him. Dalton stared. His younger self looked back at him. That's you, Vera said softly, that's us. June 2003, Dalton couldn't speak. This is the place. We were younger. The sign was different. But it was here. She pointed to herself in the photo. Dark hair. No gray. I'm Vera. This is Thomas. He set down the coffee. I didn't recognize. It's been 21 years. I've aged. You've aged, but I remember you, Dalton. I remember that name. You told us you were heading to California. You stayed 3 days. Fixed your bike. We talked. Thomas liked you, said you had a good heart underneath all that leather. Dalton looked at the photo. At Thomas, the old man who'd said those words, the words that shaped the last 2 decades of his life. Vera hung the photo back up. Carefully, you came back to us, Dalton, after all these years. Right when we needed you most. Dalton stood, walked to the window, stared out at the empty highway. This isn't coincidence, he said. No. I don't think it is. He turned back to her. Who's behind? Need to know something. Who really wants this land? I don't know. The letters come from a law office in Phoenix. No names, just the company. And Sheriff Clayton? He executes the orders. Always professional. Always. By the book. Too professional, Dalton said. What do you mean? Someone who just follows orders, doesn't threaten people afterward. Vera frowned. He threatened you, he said. I made a mistake. Said it like a warning. Vera's face went pale. Dalton, maybe you should go. These people, I don't know what they're capable of. Dalton smiled. No humor in it. I've dealt with worse. Trust me, but Vera, Thomas gave me more than help that day. He gave me a code to live by. He walked to the desk, put both hands flat on it. I'm not leaving until this is settled. You were going to Montana. Montana can wait. Vera's eyes filled again. But she didn't cry. She straightened. Found her strength. What do we do? She asked. First, we find out who Desert Land really is. Follow the money. Find the names. How? Public records, county clerk, property transfers. Every company leaves a trail. There's a courthouse in Redstone, 15 miles east. We'll go tomorrow. But tonight I need a place to stay. Know any motels nearby? Vera shook her head. Closest one is 40 miles. But she hesitated. There's a cot in the back. Thomas used it when he worked. It's not much, but it's perfect. You sure? Dalton looked around the office, at the photos, at the coffee maker. At Vera, yeah, he said, I'm sure. Dalton woke to the sound of breaking glass, years of light sleeping, years of being ready. He was on his feet before his eyes fully opened. The cot creaked. His hand found his boot, found the knife inside, old habit. Always sleep with a weapon close. He moved to the office door, opened it slow. The main shop area was dark. Moonlight through the windows. Shadows everywhere. More glass, crunching. Someone walking. Dalton's eyes adjusted. Saw the front window, shattered. Hole the size of a basketball. A brick lay on the floor, wrapped in paper. 2 figures moved outside. Running. Car engine started. Dalton ran to the door. Locked. He turned the deadbolt, yanked it open. Taillights disappearing down the highway. No license plate. Too far to see details. He stood there, breathing, watching the red lights vanish. Then he heard her. What happened, Vera? Standing in the doorway of her apartment, above the shop. Bathrobe. Hair down. Terrified. Someone threw a brick, Dalton said. Stay there. He checked the perimeter. Made sure they were gone. Then he came back inside. Turned on the lights. The brick sat in a pool of glass. Dalton picked it up. Carefully unwrapped the paper. 3 words, block letters. Red marker out. Or Vera came down the stairs. Saw the message. Hand over her mouth. This has never happened before, she whispered. Dalton set the brick down. Looked at her. Has anyone threatened you? Besides Clayton's warning? No, never. People, here, they're good people. These weren't locals, how do you know? Locals would have used the phone. Anonymous call. This is professional intimidation. He walked to the window. Studied the glass pattern. They wanted to scare you. Not hurt you. Threw it at an angle. Away from where you'd be sleeping. That's supposed to make me feel better? Dalton turned. Saw her shaking. Vera, sit down. She did. He grabbed a blanket from the cot. Wrapped it around her shoulders. I'm calling the sheriff, she said. No, what? Why not? Because Clayton might already know about this. Vera stared at him. You think he sent them? I think it's possible. Too much coincidence. I pay your debt this afternoon. Tonight. Someone threatens you, but he's the sheriff. He can't. He can. And people do, every day. When enough money's involved, Dalton picked up the brick again. Examined it. This is construction grade. New. You can still see the factory stamp, he showed her. See? Made in Flagstaff. These aren't cheap. Someone bought these specific bricks. Why does that matter? Because it's a clue. Construction means a project. A project means permits. Permits mean names. He set it down, pulled out his phone. Old flip phone. Basic. What are you doing? Vera asked. Calling someone. Someone who can help. Who? Dalton hesitated. An old friend. From the club, Hell's Angels? Yeah, Vera's face tightened. Dalton, I don't want violence. Thomas always said this guy's not like that. Not anymore. He's different. Dalton dialed. Waited 3 rings. 4, 5 a voice. Rough. Sleepy. This better be good, Zeke. It's Dalton. Pause. Ironside, are you? Yeah, man, I ain't heard from you in what, 3 years? 4. Listen, I need help. The voice changed. Alert now. Where are you, Arizona? Route 66. Little town called Redstone. What's the problem? Dalton looked at Vera. At the broken window. At the message. I'll explain when you get here. Can you come? Another pause. Longer this time. I'm in Albuquerque. 6-hour drive. I'll pay gas, food. Whatever you need, Dalton. You know I don't need your money, but I need to know. Is this righteous? Dalton smiled. Zeke's favorite word. Righteous. Yeah, brother. It's righteous. Then I'm already packing. Be there by noon. Thanks, Zeke. Don't thank me yet. You might regret calling. The line went dead. Dalton closed the phone. Looked at Vera. He's coming. Best investigator I know. If there's a trail, he'll find it. Vera pulled the blanket tighter. What do we do until then? We clean up this glass, board the window, and we stay alert. I'm scared. Dalton, he knelt down. Eye level with her, I know. But fear's not bad. Fear keeps you sharp. Thomas knew that. Any soldier knows that. Were you a soldier? No. But I worked with plenty. Gulf War. Contractor, maintenance crew. Vera's eyes widened. You were in the Gulf? Yeah, 1991. Kept the vehicles running. Boring work. But necessary. Thomas respected that. The people who do the necessary work. The ones nobody sees. Dalton stood. Offered his hand. All right, let's clean this up. I've got plywood in the shed. They worked together. Swept the glass. Hammered boards over the window. The sun started across the desert. By 6 a.m., the station looked rough, but secure. Vera made coffee. Strong. Black. They sat at the counter. 2 people who'd met yesterday. Who'd met 21 years ago. Who were now in this together, Dalton, Vera said. Can I ask you something? Sure. Why didn't you settle down? Get married? Have kids? He sipped his coffee. Thought about it. Guess I never found the right reason to stop moving. And now? He looked at her. At the boarded window. At the photos on the wall. Now I think I found the right reason to stay put. At least for a while. Vera smiled. First real smile since yesterday. Thomas would have appreciated that. They drank their coffee as dawn broke over the horizon. Traffic started picking up. A truck passed. Then another normal day. Normal life. But Dalton knew better. The storm was just beginning, and he was ready for it. The rumble came from the east deep. Familiar. Another Harley. Dalton stood from the bench outside. Waited. Vera came out, wiping her hands on a towel. That him? She asked. That's him. The bike appeared. Big touring model. Loaded with saddlebags. The rider was massive. 6'4", broad shoulders, dark skin. gray beard. He pulled into the lot, killed the engine, took off his helmet. Pastor Ezekiel Thornhill. Zeke to his friends, 68 years old. Looked 50, moved like 40. Ironside, he said, voice like gravel. You look old. Dalton grinned. You look dead. They embraced. Hard. The way brothers do. Zeke stepped back. Looked him over. 4 years. You finally quit smoking? 3 years ago. Good. Nasty habit. The Lord don't. Dalton laughed. Since when do you care what the Lord likes? Since he saved my life. But that's a story for later. Zeke turned to Vera. Removed his sunglasses, ma'am. I'm Ezekiel Thornhill. Most folks call me Zeke. He extended his hand. Gentle, respectful. Vera shook it. Vera Blackwood. Thank you for coming. Dalton says you need help. That's all I need to know. Dalton gestured to the station. Come inside. We'll catch you up. They sat in the office. Dalton laid out everything. The padlock. The $47,000. The tax discrepancies. Desert Land LLC. The brick through the window. Zeke listened. Didn't interrupt. Just absorbed it all. When Dalton finished, Zeke sat back. Steepled his fingers. Let me ask you something, Vera, he said. How many other properties on this stretch of Route 66 changed hands recently? Vera thought about it. I'm not sure. Maybe 6, 7, all in the last 2 years? Yes. Why? Zeke looked at Dalton. Because this ain't about one gas station. This is about the whole corridor. Dalton nodded. Grab, big one. Someone wants to control this entire stretch, but they need every piece, and Vera's the last holdout, Dalton said. Exactly. Which means they're desperate, which means they'll escalate. Vera's face went pale. Escalate how? Zeke's expression softened. Ma'am, I don't want to scare you. But people who throw bricks through windows at 2 a.m., they're not done. What do? We find out who they are. And we hit them first. Legally. With facts. With truth. He pulled out a laptop from his saddlebag. Old, but functional. I've got access to some databases. Public records. Property transfers. Corporate filings. You're not a cop, Vera said. Zeke smiled. No, ma'am. I'm a pastor, but I used to be something else. What? 20 years. Before I found God, or he found me. Still debate that. He opened the laptop. Started typing, Desert Land Development LLC. Let's see what you're hiding. His fingers flew, fast, precise. Dalton watched, impressed. Zeke hadn't lost his touch. Registered in Delaware. Zeke muttered, of course, Shell Company Paradise. More typing. Corporate address is a law firm in Phoenix. Jacobson and Associates. Can you find the owners? Dalton asked. Delaware doesn't require disclosure, but there's always a trail. Always. He pulled up another database. Cross-referenced, got a business license. Filed with Maricopa County. Had to list a local agent. Who? Zeke's face went hard. Sheriff Marcus Clayton, Vera gasped. He's the legal agent? Listed right here. Filed 18 months ago. Dalton's jaw clenched. He's not just enforcing. He's part of it. Deeper than that, Zeke said. He kept typing. 8 properties purchased along Route 66 in the last east. All by Desert Land. All with Clayton signing as legal representative. He turned the laptop. Showed them property maps. Highlighted parcels. A continuous strip of 15 miles. Route 66 corridor, all of it owned by Desert Land, except one small parcel. Vera's gas station. They need you gone, Zeke said quietly. You're the missing piece. Vera stood, walked to the window, looked out at her land. This was Thomas's dream, his legacy. I know, Zeke said. And they're counting on you being too tired to fight. She turned, fire in her eyes. They counted wrong. Zeke, yes, ma'am. I believe they did. Dalton leaned forward. All right. We know Clayton's involved, but who's giving him orders? Who owns Desert Land? That's the million-dollar question, Zeke said. Delaware LLCs don't make that easy. Can you find out? I can try, but it'll take time. And we might need to get creative. How creative? Zeke closed the laptop, looked at both of them. There's a faster way. We make them come to us. How? Vera asked. We go public. Call the local paper. Tell them a sheriff's using his badge to steal land from a widow. Dalton shook his head. They'll bury it, or spin it. Small-town paper probably gets revenue from the county. Not the local paper, Zeke said. Phoenix, Albuquerque. Hell, I know a reporter at the Arizona Republic. Owes me a favor for what? I found her missing sister. Long time ago. She never forgot. Vera sat back down. Will that work? Will publicity stop them? It'll slow them down, Zeke said. Sunshine's the best disinfectant. They won't risk federal attention if this goes viral. Dalton thought about it. What if they lawyer up? Sue for defamation? Let them. Discovery would force them to reveal ownership. That's what we want anyway. It was a risk, but a calculated one. I say we do it, Dalton said. Vera nodded. Me too. Zeke pulled out his phone. Modern smartphone. Not like Dalton's relic. I'll make the call. Set up an interview. Tomorrow if possible. He stepped outside. Dialed. Dalton and Vera sat in silence. You trust him? She asked. With my life. Zeke's solid. Always been. He's a pastor now? Yeah. Found God after his daughter died. Car accident. Drunk driver. Vera drew a sharp breath. Oh no. Changed him completely. He was angry. Bitter. Then one day he wasn't. Said God spoke to him. Told him to use his skills for good. And he listened? Zeke always listened when it mattered. Zeke came back in, smiling. Interviews set. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Reporters driving down from Phoenix. That fast? Vera asked. She's hungry. And she hates corruption. Perfect combination, Dalton stood. Then we better get our story straight. They spent the next 2 hours going over every detail, every document, every date, every interaction with Clayton. Zeke took notes. Organized it. Made it airtight. This is good, he said finally. Real good. They won't be able to dismiss this. Vera looked exhausted. But hopeful. Thank you, she said. Both of you. I don't know how to repay this. Dalton shook his head. You already did. 21 years ago, Zeke looked confused. What's that mean? I'll explain later, Dalton said. Long story. Dusk arrived. Orange and purple light painting the horizon. Zeke stood. Stretched. I'm gonna get a motel room. 40 miles. Right? Stay here, Vera said. There's another cot in the storage room. Not fancy, but… Ma'am, I've slept in worse. I'll take it, she smiled. I'll make dinner. Nothing special. But you're welcome to join. I'd be honored. They ate together. Sandwiches, chips, sweet tea, but it felt like more. Felt like family. After dinner, Zeke set up his cot. Dalton helped. You really think this'll work? Dalton asked quietly. Zeke looked at him. Serious. I think we're doing the right thing. Outcome's in God's hands now, and if it doesn't work, then we try something else. We don't quit. That's not who we are. Dalton nodded. It's not. They finished setting up. Stood in the doorway. The highway was dark now. Quiet. Only the distant hum of a semi-truck passing. But both men knew the peace wouldn't last. Tomorrow, they'd fire the first real shot. And after that, all bets were off. The reporter arrived early. White sedan. Arizona plates. Dust covering the hood. She stepped out. 30s, professional attire, sharp eyes. Recording equipment in hand. Dalton watched from the window. That's her, Zeke said. Stepped outside. Arms open. Maria Rodriguez, he called out. Been too long. She smiled, hugged him quick. Professional, Zeke. You look good. God agrees with you. He keeps me humble. Come on, let me introduce you. They came inside. Maria set up her recorder. Note Pamela. Vera sat across from her. Hands folded. Nervous, Mrs. Blackwood, Maria said gently. Just tell me your story, in your own words. Take your time. Vera took a breath, then she began. She told everything, Thomas. The station, the Korean war, the promise, the tax notices, the inspections, the escalating harassment, Sheriff Clayton, the padlock, the $47,000. Mary's pen moved fast, eyes sharp. Missing nothing. And this happened 2 days ago, she asked. Yes. Did Sheriff Clayton give you a receipt? Vera pulled it out, handed it over. Maria photographed it. Every angle. Mrs. Blackwood, how long have you owned this property? My husband bought it in 1952. I inherited it when he died. 5 years ago. And you've paid property taxes every year? Every single year. Do you have proof? Vera opened her folder. Bank statements. Canceled checks. Years of them. Maria's eyebrows raised. This is substantial documentation. I keep everything, Vera said. Thomas taught me that. Paper trail protects you. Smart man. Maria turned to Dalton. And you are? Dalton Mercer. I paid the debt 2 days ago. Why? Dalton paused. Chose his words carefully. Because it relates Blackwood? Not before that day. But I do now. Maria studied him. Biker cut. Hell's Angels patch. Weathered face. This is a lot of money to give a stranger. It's a lot of injustice to ignore. She nodded. Wrote that down. Zeke leaned forward. Maria, there's more. You need to see this. He showed her the laptop. The property records. 8 parcels. All purchased by Desert Land LLC. all with Sheriff Clayton as legal representative. Maria's face changed. This wasn't just a human interest story anymore. Can I photograph these records? They're public. Go ahead. She took dozens of pictures. Maps, deeds, corporate filings. This is a pattern, she said. A deliberate land acquisition strategy. Exactly, Zeke said. And Mrs. Blackwood is the last obstacle. Maria turned back to Vera. Have you been threatened? Vera hesitated. Looked at Dalton. He nodded. Tell her, night before last. Someone threw a brick through my window. There was a message. What did it say? Vera pulled out the brick, still wrapped in paper. Maria photographed it. The message, the broken glass. Everything. Did you call the police? No, why not? Because the sheriff might be involved. Maria set down her camera, looked at all three of them. This is bigger than I thought. This could be federal. Wire fraud, abuse of office. Civil rights violations. Will you write it? Zeke asked. I'll do better than write it. I'll run it front page. And I'll send it to the FBI. Vera's eyes widened. The FBI? Ma'am, if a law enforcement officer is using his position to steal property, that's a federal crime. They'll want to know. She packed up her equipment. Stood. I'll have this published by tomorrow morning. Online tonight. It's going to make noise. Good, Dalton said. Noise is what we need. Maria shook everyone's hand. Thank you for trusting me with this. I won't let you down. She left, dust trail disappearing toward Phoenix. Vera sat down, exhaled slowly. Do you think it'll help? She asked. Zeke closed his laptop. It'll force their hand. They'll have to respond. How? That's what worries me, Dalton said. He was right to worry. Dalton smelled it first, smoke faint, but distinct. He sat up on the cot, listened nothing, then he heard it. Crackling. Soft, growing louder. He jumped up, grabbed his boots. Fire, he yelled. Zach, Vera, fire. He ran to the office door, yanked it open. Flames, orange, bright, eating through the storage room, the back corner, where they kept supplies, inventory, records. Zeke burst out of his room. Saw the flames. Get Vera, he shouted. I'll grab the extinguisher. Dalton ran upstairs. Pounded on Vera's door. Vera, fire. We gotta go. The door opened. She stood there. Nightgown. Confused. What? Fire. Downstairs. Move. He grabbed her arm, led her down the stairs. Out the front door. Zeke was already spraying foam, but it wasn't enough. The flames spread. Fast. Too fast. This wasn't an accident. Call 911, Dalton yelled. Vera pulled out her phone, hands shaking. Dialed. Dalton ran to his bike, grabbed a bottle of water, poured it on a rag, covered his face, ran back inside. The heat hit him, like walking into an oven. Saw the source. Gasoline. Someone had poured it. You could see the trail from the back door, through the storage room, soaking the boxes. This was arson. Get out, Zeke yelled. It's spreading to the rafters. Dalton looked up. Saw the flames climbing, eating wood. Old dry timber. They couldn't stop this. He grabbed Zeke's arm. Out. Now they ran. Just as part of the ceiling collapsed. Outside, Vera tutted Padlock, phone to her ear. They're coming, she said. Fire department. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. The whole back section would be gone by then. Dalton looked at Zeke. Both thinking the same thing. Check the perimeter, Dalton said. They might still be here. They split up. Circled the building. Dalton found it. Tire tracks. Fresh, leading away toward the highway, and something else. A gas can, empty, tossed in the brush. He picked it up carefully. Evidence, he said. Fire trucks arrived, 3 of them. Sirens wailing. Firefighters jumped out. Hoses, water, organized chaos. The fire chief approached. Older man, something everyone out? He asked. Yes, Vera said. We're all out. Anyone hurt? No, he nodded. Good, stay back. Let us work. They watched, helpless, as the firefighters fought the blaze. It took 40 minutes, but they got it under control. The back third of the station. Destroyed. Black. Smoking. But the rest stood, damaged, but standing. The fire chief came back. Soot on his face. Ma'am, you're lucky. Another 10 minutes you'd have lost everything. Thank you, Vera whispered. This wasn't an electrical fire, he said. I can smell the accelerant. Vera said, I'm calling the sheriff. He'll want to investigate. Dalton stepped forward. No. The chief looked at him. Excuse me? Don't call Sheriff Clayton. Call the state police. Or the FBI. Why? Because Clayton might be involved. The chief's eyes narrowed. That's a serious accusation. It's a serious situation. Zeke pulled out his phone. Showed the chief the corporate records. Look. Clayton's listed as the legal agent for the company trying to buy this land. The chief studied it. Face grim. I'll call the state police, he said. They'll handle it. Thank you, Vera said. He walked away. Pulled out his radio. Dalton turned to Vera. She looked broken. The storage room, she said. That's where I kept everything. All of Thomas's records. Photos. Documents. Did you have copies? She shook her head. Some. But not all. Zeke put a hand on her shoulder. We'll rebuild. We'll recover what we can. They're trying to erase us, she said. Voice hollow. Erase Thomas. Erase everything he built. Dalton's jaw clenched. Anger. Cold. Focused. They made a mistake, he said. What mistake? They think destruction will. It won't. Vera looked at the ruins. At the smoking timbers. I don't know if I can keep fighting. Yes, you can. You're not alone in this. She turned. Looked at him. At Zeke. Why are you doing this? Risking yourselves for me? Dalton met her eyes. Because Thomas taught me something 21 years ago. That walking past someone who needs help means losing part of yourself. His voice got harder. I won't lose that. Not again. And I won't let them win. Vera's eyes filled, but she didn't cry. She straightened. Found her spine. All right. What do? We hit back. Harder. Smarter. Dalton walked into Sheriff Clayton's office. No appointment. No warning. The secretary tried to stop him. Sir, you can't. He kept walking, pushed open the door. Clayton sat behind his desk. On the phone, he looked up, saw Dalton. Eyes went cold. I'll call you back, he said. Hung up, Mr. Mercer. You're trespassing, damn I. Dalton closed the door. Stood in front of the desk. I could have you arrested. For what? Walking into a public office during business hours? Clayton leaned back, hands folded. Smile thin. What do you want? I want to know who you're working for. I work for the county. For the people, you work for Desert Land LLC. You're their legal agent. Clayton's smile didn't move, but his eyes changed. That's public record. Perfectly legal. I represent them in property transactions while also serving as sheriff. That's a conflict of interest only if I use my office for personal gain. Which I don't. Then explain the fire last night. What fire? Don't play dumb. Vera, Blackwood's gas station. Someone torched it, used gasoline. Clayton picked up a file, opened it. Casual, I heard about that. Tragic. Fire department's investigating. State police are investigating. Because you can't be trusted. Now Clayton looked up. Smile gone, Mr. Mercer. I've been patient with you. But you're making accusations you can't prove, can't I? Dalton pulled out his phone. Played a video. Security footage. Grainy, but clear enough. Two men. Approaching the back of the station. Carrying a gas can, one of them wore a hat. The camera caught his face for just a second. Deputy Marcus Webb. Clayton's second in command. Clayton watched. Face stone. Where'd you get this? Zeke installed cameras 3 days ago, after the brick. We knew you'd escalate. Clayton stood. Walked to the window. Looked out at the town square. That video doesn't prove anything. Could be anyone. It's Webb. We both know it, even if it is. That doesn't connect to me. Dalton stepped closer. You really think you'll get away with this? Clayton turned. Get away with all? What? I haven't done anything wrong. You're stealing land. Using your badge. Terrorizing an old woman. I'm facilitating legal property transfers. There's a difference. Not when you're manufacturing the reasons for those transfers. Clayton's eyes narrowed. Careful, Mr. Mercer, or what? You'll burn down my bike. To silence. Clayton walked back to his desk. Sat down. I think you should leave. Before I charge you with harassment. Dalton didn't move. Who's behind Desert Land? Give me the name. That's confidential client information. Is it Richard Castellano? Clayton's face flickered. Just for a second. Dalton, bingo. Dalton said. Castellano. The Vegas developer. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. And soon everyone else will too. Is that a threat? It's a promise. The Arizona Republic runs the story tomorrow. Front page. Your name's in it. Webb's name too. Clayton's jaw tightened. Publishing lies won't help Mrs. Blackwood. They're not lies. We have documents, witnesses, video. And now the state police have the gas can. With fingerprints. That landed. Clayton's composure cracked. Just a fraction. You're making a mistake, he said quietly. You don't know who you're dealing with. Neither do you. Dalton turned to leave. Hand on the door. One more thing, he said. I'm not some scared old lady you can push around. I've dealt with worse than you, in places where there were no rules, no cameras, no witnesses. He looked back, eyes hard. So if you're thinking about coming after me or Vera or Zeke again, remember this. I don't scare, I don't run, and I don't forget. He left, door swinging shut behind him. Clayton sat there, alone, picked up his headphone, dialed. "We have a problem," he said when someone answered. The black Mercedes pulled up slow, expensive, clean, out of place on dusty Route 66. Dalton saw it from the porch. Put down his coffee. "Zeke." Zeke came out, looked. "That's a $90,000 car." "Yep." The driver's door opened. A man stepped out, 50s. Gray hair, tailored suit. Even in the desert heat, confident walk. Used to being in charge, he approached. Hands visible. Non-threatening, "Gentlemen, I'm looking for Dalton Mercer." "You found him," Dalton said. The man smiled. Extended his hand. "Richard Castellano." "I believe we should talk." Dalton didn't shake. "I don't do business with arsonists." Castellano lowered his hand, still smiling. "I had nothing to do with last night's fire. That was overzealous employees. Acting without authorization." "You mean your pet sheriff?" Clayton exceeded his mandate. "I've made that clear to him." "How noble." Castellano looked at Zeke, then at the damage station. "May we speak inside?" "Privately?" Dalton said. "Anything you say in front of my friends." Castellano nodded. "Fair enough." He leaned against his car, casual, like they were discussing weather. "I'm here to make this simple. I'll pay Mrs. Blackwood $1.5 million for this property. She's not selling. Everyone sells. It's just a matter of price, not her. This place has meaning." Castellano's smile faded. "Mr. Mercer, I've done my research on you." Dalton Ironside Mercer, former Hells Angels Oakland chapter, Gulf War contractor, workshop owner in Sacramento. He paused. "You sold that workshop 6 months ago for $180,000. You're carrying that cash, heading to Montana. Retirement." Dalton's eyes narrowed. "You've been busy. I know who I'm dealing with. I respect that. You're a man of principle. I admire that, but principles don't pay bills. Mrs. Blackwood's insurance won't cover the fire damage. Not fully. She's looking at $50,000 in repairs. Maybe more. We'll manage, will you? With what money? Yours? How much have you spent already?" "The $47,000 in taxes. Security equipment." Castellano pulled out an envelope. Thick. "I'm offering you $200,000. Cash, right now. Walk away. Let me negotiate with Mrs. Blackwood directly." "No." $300. Zero. "No." Castellano's jaw tightened. First sign of frustration. $500,000. Final offer. "That's more than you got for your entire workshop." Dalton stepped off the porch, walked close. "Eye to eye. I don't care if you offered me $5 million. The answer's no." "Why?" "This isn't your fight. It became my fight when you burned down her storage room. When you threatened an old woman. When you used a corrupt sheriff to steal land." Castellano stared at him, reassessing. "You're not going to let this go." "No, I'm not. Even if it cost you everything. I've lost everything before. I survived. I'll do it again if I have to." Castellano nodded slowly. "I see." He put the envelope back in his jacket. "Then I'll be direct. You're interfering with a $40 million development project. Casino and resort, 15 miles of Route 66. Jobs, revenue, progress. Built on stolen land. The land was purchased legally. Every transaction documented, with manufactured tax lines. False violations. Intimidation. Prove it, we will. The FBI's already looking into it." Castellano smiled. "Cold, empty. The FBI is slow, bureaucratic. By the time they finish their investigation, this will be resolved. One way or another. Is that a threat?" "It's a reality check. I've built 3 casinos, 2 resorts. I know how to navigate obstacles." "I'm not an obstacle. I'm a wall." Castellano's smile disappeared completely. "Walls can be knocked down, Mr. Mercer." Dalton's voice went quiet. "Dangerous. So can men who think they're untouchable." They stood there, silent, tension thick. Zeke stepped forward, voice calm, pastoral. "Gentlemen, let's de-escalate." Castellano turned. Looked at Zeke. "And you are?" "Pastor Ezekiel Thornhill. I counsel people toward peace, then counsel your friend. Before he makes a mistake he can't undo." "The only mistake here is yours," Zeke said. "You're trying to take something that doesn't belong to you. Everything belongs to someone who can pay the right price. Not everything. Some things, they're priceless. Castellano studied Zeke. Then Dalton, you're both fools. Fighting for a losing cause, maybe, Dalton said. But at least we'll sleep at night. Castellano got back in his Mercedes. Window down, this was your chance. Your only chance. Next time we meet, the offer's off the table. Good. I was tired of saying no. Anyway, the Mercedes pulled away. Dust trail, gone. Zeke exhaled. That was tense. He's scared, Dalton said. Didn't look scared, he is. We're messing up his timeline. His investors are probably breathing down his neck. Vera came out. She'd been watching from inside. What did he offer? $1.5 million for the property. $500. Susan for me to walk away. Her eyes widened. That's a lot of money, it is. Why didn't you take it? Dalton looked at her directly. Because some things matter more than money. Thomas understood that. So do I, she hugged him. Sudden, tight. Thank you, she whispered. He hugged her back, awkward. But, a genuine win? She let go. Her eyes were wet. I wish you could have known him longer. I knew him enough to understand what mattered to him. Dalton nodded. A lump in his throat. Zeke clapped his shoulder. Come on. Let's get back to work. They went inside. Started planning. But all of them knew Castellano wasn't done. Not even close. The article dropped to Arizona Republic. Front page. Online edition. Sheriff accused of land grab seem widow. On historic Muti 66, Maria Rodriguez's byline. Photos, documents, everything. It went viral. Within 6 hours, it had 50,000 shares. Local news picked it up. Then Phoenix TV stations. By evening, a CNN affiliate requested an interview. Vera's phone rang. Non-stop supporters, well-wishers. People outraged, but also threats. Anonymous. Vicious. Zeke screened her calls. Kept the threats away from her. Then something unexpected happened. Cars started showing up. Not fancy cars, regular folks. Locals. They brought food, supplies, offers to help rebuild. A construction crew from Flagstaff showed up. Volunteer? We heard what happened, the foreman said. We're here to help. Veterans groups came. Former Korean War soldiers. Older men. They saluted Vera, shook her hand. Your husband served, one said. So did we. We take care of our own. By the third day, Blackwood's last stop looked like a community center. 20 people working. Clearing debris. Rebuilding the storage room. Dalton worked alongside them. Hammer, nails, sweat. Zeke coordinated. Made sure everyone had water. Food, direction. Vera watched from inside. Overwhelmed, a young woman approached. Maybe 30. Carried a toddler on her hip. Mrs. Blackwood? I'm Sarah. My grandmother used to stop here. Back in the 60s. She said you and your husband were the kindest people she ever met. Vera's eyes watered. What was her name? Dorothy Sullivan. She passed last year, but she never forgot you, Dorothy. I remember her. She drove a blue Mustang. Sarah smiled. She did. Until the day she died, she handed Vera an envelope. She left instructions. If anything ever happened to this place, I was to help. There's $5,000 in there. For repairs. Vera tried to refuse. I can't accept, please. She'd want you to have it. Vera took the envelope. Tears streaming. Thank you. Tell her I remember. She knows. Dalton watched from the roof line. Saw it all. This was bigger than one gas station. This was about community, memory, connection, things you can't buy, can't steal, can't burn down. By late afternoon, the storage room frame was up, not finished. But progress. Real progress. They gathered outside, exhausted. Satisfied, the construction foreman approached Dalton. We'll be back tomorrow. Should have it done by week's end. Thank you, Dalton said. What do we owe you? Nothing. Just promise to keep this place open. We will. The crowd dispersed, slowly. Reluctantly. Like leaving family Vera, Dalton and Zeke remained on the porch as twilight settled. Finally, Vera spoke. I didn't think people still cared. About places like this. About us. They do, Zeke said. They just needed reminded what's worth protecting. Vera looked at Dalton. You reminded them of that. By taking a stand. We all took a stand, Dalton corrected. Together, they sat in comfortable silence as darkness crept in. Then Vera's phone rang. She answered, listened. Face changing. Thank you. Yes. Tomorrow. I'll be there. She hung up. Looked at them. That was the FBI. They want to interview me. About Clayton. About desert land. That's good, Zeke said. They're taking it seriously. They said they've opened a formal investigation. Wire fraud. Corruption. Civil rights violations. Dalton leaned forward. Yes. They're investigating Skim too. Good. The more pressure, the better. Vera set down her phone. Looked worried, Dalton. What if they retaliate? The fire was bad. What if they do worse? They won't. How can you be sure? Because now there's too many eyes. Too much attention. They can't risk it. Zeke nodded. Dalton's right. The article changed everything. They're exposed now. Vera wanted to believe it, but fear lingered. Dalton saw it in her eyes. Vera, I'm not leaving. Not until this is completely resolved. What about Montana? Montana's been waiting 40 years. It can wait a little longer. She reached over, took his hand, squeezed gently. Thank you, he returned the gesture. That's what family does. She smiled through fresh tears. They sat together as stars began appearing overhead, the highway below them quiet now. But, underneath the calm, they all knew, the hardest part was still coming. Zeke slid into the booth across from Dalton. It's set, he said quietly. Tell me, I made contact with Deputy Webb. Pretended to be a landowner, willing to sell, and, he took the bait, wants to meet, tomorrow night. Said he can make the tax problems go away for a fee. Dalton smiled. Grim, idiot, greedy idiot, he quoted me $15,000. Under the table. Cash, we recording it? Already got the equipment. Hidden mic. Video and audio. You sure about this? If it goes wrong, it won't go wrong. I've done this before. Dozens of times Dalton studied his friend. That was 20 years ago, don't forget. FBI know about this? No. And they can't. Not yet. If Webb gets tipped off, he'll lawyer up. We need the confession first. Dalton nodded. Risky, but necessary. Where's the meat? Warehouse. Outside of town, his choice. He thinks it's private, it's isolated. That's dangerous. That's why you're coming. As backup, out of sight. But close. Damn right I'm coming. They finished their coffee, paid, left, separately. Tomorrow night they'd get the proof they needed. Or die trying. The warehouse sat in darkness, old abandoned. Windows broken, rust everywhere. Perfect place for something illegal. Zeke pulled up in his truck. Headlights off. Engine quiet. He sat for a moment. Checked his equipment. Beatty camera, clipped to his shirt. Hidden under his jacket, wireless mic. Taped to his chest, broadcasting to Dalton's receiver. Pawn in his pocket. Recording his backup. Said a prayer. Lord, guide my words. Protect my path. Let justice be done. He stepped out. Walked toward the warehouse entrance. 100 yards away, Dalton crouched behind an old shipping container. Night vision binoculars. Radio receiver. His hand near his knife. He watched Zeke enter the building. I'm in. Zeke's voice crackled through the earpiece. Copy, Dalton whispered back. I've got eyes on the entrance. No movement outside. Inside, Zeke's eyes adjusted to the darkness. A single light. Hanging bulb. Center of the space, Deputy Marcus Webb stood underneath it. Alone 40s. Stocky. Arrogant smile, Mr. Thornhill, Webb said. Glad you could make it, Zeke approached. Calm. Measured steps, Deputy Webb. Thank you for meeting. Let's skip the pleasantries. You said you own property on Route 66. You're having tax issues. That's right. My assessment jumped 300%. Can't afford it. Webb nodded. Sympathetic. Fake. Happens sometimes. Computer errors. Reassessments. The county's a mess. Can you fix it? I can make it go away. For a fee, how much? $15,000. Cash. Tonight, Zeke pulled out an envelope. Thick. From his jacket, I brought it. But, first, I need to understand how this works. Webb's eyes locked on the money. Greedy. Simple. I file an amendment. Say there was an error. Your taxes go back to normal. Is this legal? Webb smiled. Does it matter? I just want to make sure I'm protected. You are. I've done this before. Many times. Never had a problem for other properties? On Route 66? Webb hesitated. First sign of caution. Why are you asking? Just curious. Seems like a lot of folks have had similar problems lately. Counties. Disorganized. Zaka nodded up, held the envelope, didn't hand it over yet. Deputy Webb, can I ask you something? Off the record? What? Who decides which properties get reassessed? Webb's face hardened. What are you getting at? Nothing. Just trying to understand the system. The system's complicated. That's all you need to know. But someone must coordinate it. Sheriff Clayton, maybe? Webb's hand moved to his belt, near his gun. Why are you asking about Clayton? He raised his hands. Calm. Non-threatening. No reason. He's the sheriff. Figured he'd be involved. You're asking too many questions. I'm just being careful. 15,000 is a lot of money. Webb stared at him, suspicion growing. You wearing a wire? What? No. Open your jacket. Zeke's heart rate spiked, but his face stayed calm. Come on, deputy. I'm just a scared property owner, trying to save his land. Open your jacket. Zeke's slowly unzipped his jacket, opened it. Webb stepped closer, looked, saw the camera small, clipped to the shirt. Red light blinking. Webb's face went red. Rage, you son of a. He reached for his gun. Zeke moved fast, kicked in. He grabbed Webb's wrist. Twisted, hard. Webb screamed. Gun fell. Zeke swept his leg. Webb crashed to the concrete. Outside, Dalton heard the commotion through the earpiece. Zeke. Status, no answer. Just scuffling. Grunting, Dalton ran, full sprint, toward the warehouse. Inside, Webb scrambled for his gun. Zeke kicked it away. Across the floor, into darkness. Webb stood, bigger, younger. He charged, tackled Zeke. The men hit the ground. Webb threw punches. Wild, angry. Zeke blocked, deflected, took one to the ribs, grunted. Then he heard it. Footsteps, running. Dalton burst through the door. Knife out, get off him. Webb looked up, saw Dalton, saw the blade. He scrambled back. Hands up. Don't. Dalton helped Zeke up. Kept the knife pointed at Webb. You okay? He asked Zeke. Yeah, bruised. But okay. Dalton turned to Webb. Where's the gun? Over there, I know. I can't see. Stay down. Hands behind your head, Webb complied. Shaking now, reality setting in. Zeke found the gun, picked it up carefully, ejected the magazine. Got it, he said. Dalton pulled out zip ties from his pocket. Always prepared. Hands, he ordered Webb. You can't do this. I'm a law enforcement officer. You're a criminal. Hands now. Webb put his hands behind his back. Dalton zip-tied them. Tight. Zeke checked his camera. Still recording. Still intact. We got clear admission. Bribery. Conspiracy. Webb's face went pale. That's not admissible. You entrapped me, no. You offered the bribe. I just asked questions. My lawyer will destroy this in court. Dalton knelt down, eye level with Webb. Maybe, but the court of public opinion doesn't need admissible evidence. Just truth. What are you talking about? We're releasing this video. Tonight. Online. Everyone will see it. Webb's eyes widened. You can't. Watch us. Zeke pulled out his phone. Called 911. Yes, I need to report a crime, attempted assault. Attempted bribery of a public official. He gave the address. Waited. Webb sat on the floor. Defeated. Broken. Clayton will protect me, he muttered. Clayton's going down too, Dalton said. This is just the beginning. 10 minutes later. State police arrived. Not local. State, 2 troopers. Professional. By the book, Zeke showed them the video. Explained everything. They arrested Webb. Read him his rights. Took the camera as evidence. We'll need statements from both of you, one trooper said. Anytime, Zeke replied. We're not going anywhere. The troopers left with Webb. Sirens fading. Dalton and Zeke stood alone in the warehouse, both breathing hard. Adrenaline fading, that was close, Dalton said. Too close. I should have been more careful. You did good. We got what we needed. Zeke smiled. Tired. Relieved. Yeah, we did. They walked back to their vehicles. Silent. Processing. This goes to the FBI tomorrow? Dalton asked. First thing. Along with everything else we have. Think it's enough? It's enough to start. The dominoes will fall from here. Dalton nodded. Let's go tell Vera. They drove back. The highway dark and empty. Stars overhead like scattered diamonds. The war wasn't over, but they'd won a major battle. 2 federal agents sat in Vera's office. Special Agent Jennifer Parks, 40. Sharp, no nonsense. Special Agent David Cole, 35. Quiet, observant. They'd been there for 2 hours, going through everything: documents, videos, recordings, witness statements. Vera sat across from them. Exhausted but hopeful, Dad, Dalton and Zeke stood nearby, watching. Closed her laptop. Looked at Vera. Mrs. Blackwood, I want to be clear. What happened to you is serious. Federal crimes were committed. Will they be prosecuted? Vera asked. Yes. We have enough to charge Sheriff Clayton with wire fraud, extortion, and abuse of office. And Deputy Webb, bribery, assault. He's already in custody. State charges. But we're adding federal charges too. Cole spoke up. The bigger fish is Richard Castellano. Can you prove he's involved? Dalton asked. We're building the case. The corporate structure. The money trail. It takes time. Parks leaned forward. But here's where we need your help. We want to set up a meeting. Between you and Castellano, Vera's eyes widened. Me? Yes, we'll wire you. Record the conversation. Get him to admit his involvement. Is that safe? Zeke asked. We'll have agents nearby. So, she'll never be in danger. Vera looked at Dalton. Uncertain. It's your choice, he said. No pressure. She thought about it. About Thomas. About the station. About everything. What would I have to do? She asked. Parks, call him. Say you're ready to negotiate. Meet in a public place. Let him talk, and if he doesn't admit anything, then we keep building the case. But Mrs. Blackwood, men like Castellano are arrogant. They think they're untouchable. That makes them careless. Vera took a breath. Decided I'll do it. Parks smiled. Thank you. We'll set it up for tomorrow. Breakfast. Public restaurant. We'll brief you on what to say. They spent the next hour preparing, going through scenarios. Questions Vera should ask. By noon the agents left confident. Organized. Vera sat on the porch, hands shaking. Dalton brought her tea, sat beside her. You don't have to do this, he said. Yes, I do. For Thomas. For everyone Castellano hurt takes guts. I'm terrified. That's what makes it brave. She sipped her tea. Tried to calm her nerves. Will you be there? At the restaurant? FBI won't let me in, but I'll be outside. Watching. That helps. They sat quietly, a gentle breeze carrying the scent of creosote. Dalton, can I ask you something? Anything. When this is over, will you stay, or will you go to Montana? He thought about it. Honest answer, I don't know. Part of me still wants that cabin. That quiet. And the other part? The other part feels like I found something here. Something worth staying for, Vera smiled softly. Thomas used to say home isn't a place. It's a purpose. Dalton nodded. Understanding evening came. They had dinner. Simple. Quiet. Tomorrow would be intense, but tonight they had peace. Vera sat in a booth, back to the wall, coffee in front of her untouched. She wore a blazer. Professional. The FBI had provided it. Hide inside. A microphone. A transmitter. State-of-the-art outside in an unmarked van. Agents Parks and Cole listened. Dalton sat in his truck. 50 yards away. Watching the entrance, Zeke was at the station, keeping things running. Vera's phone buzzed. Text from Parks. He's coming. 2 minutes. You're doing great. Vera's heart pounded. She took a sip of water. The door opened. Richard Castellano entered. Suit. Expensive. Confidence radiating. He saw her. Smiled. Walked over. Mrs. Blackwood. Thank you for agreeing to meet. He slid into the booth across from her. Mr. Castellano, a waitress approached. Castellano ordered coffee. Waited until she left, I have to say. I'm surprised you called. After everything, I'm tired, Vera said. Simple. Honest. I understand. This has been difficult for you. The fire. The threats. It's too much. Castellano nodded. Sympathetic Mesk, I want you to know I had nothing to do with the fire. That was Clayton. Acting on his own. First lie. The FBI was recording. You didn't order it? Vera asked. Absolutely not. I'm a businessman, not a thug. But you hired Clayton. You use him to handle problems. Castellano's eyes narrowed slightly. I hired him as a legal agent. Nothing more. Come on, Mr. Castellano. We both know what he was doing. The tax assessments. The inspections. All designed to force people out. Castellano leaned back. Studied her. You're fishing, Mrs. Blackwood. I'm stating facts. Facts that can't be proven. Vera took a breath. Pushed harder. 11 properties. All bought by your company. All after Clayton became sheriff. That's not coincidence. It's good timing and legal business. Legal doesn't mean ethical. Castellano smiled. Cold. Ethics are subjective. Profit is objective. Is that what this is about? Profit? It's always about profit. I'm developing a resort. Jobs, revenue. Progress. This area needs it. Built on stolen land. Purchased land. There's a difference. Vera felt her anger rising. Controlled it. My husband built this station in 1952, served his country, served this community. You're trying to erase that. I'm trying to build something new. Your husband's legacy is admirable, but it's the past. I'm the future built on lies and intimidation. Castellano's jaw tightened. Careful, Mrs. Blackwood, or what? You'll burn down the rest of my station? I told you. I didn't order that, but you benefited from it. You're here now, offering to buy because you think I'm weak. Broken, Castellano leaned forward. I think you're practical. $1.5 million. Final offer. Take it. Walk away. Live comfortably, and if I don't, His eyes went cold. Then you'll lose anyway. The investigation will drag on. Years maybe. Legal fees will bury you. Insurance won't cover everything. You'll be forced to sell. For pennies, is that a threat? It's reality. Vera met his eyes. Didn't blink, Mr. Castellano. I'm 76 years old. I've buried a husband, survived cancer. Raised a business through recessions and droughts. She leaned closer. You don't scare me. Your money doesn't tempt me. And your reality doesn't break me. Castellano's facade cracked. Anger showing through. You're a foolish old woman, maybe. But I'm a foolish old woman who's still standing. While you're about to fall, what's that supposed to mean? It means the FBI knows everything. The corporate structure, the money trail. Webb already confessed. Clayton's next. And you're last. Castellano stood. Threw money on the table. This conversation is over. One more thing, Vera said. He paused, looked back. You said ethics are subjective. Maybe. But justice isn't, and it's coming for you. Castellano's face went red, but he said nothing. He walked out, fast, angry. In the van, Parks and Cole smiled. We got it, Parks said into her radio. Every word. Outside, Dalton watched Castellano storm to his Mercedes, watched him peel out of the parking lot. He smiled, proud. Vera stayed in the booth, hands shaking. But head high, Parks came in. Sat down, Mrs. Blackwood. That was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Did you get what you needed? More than enough. He admitted to the coordinated land grab, to using Clayton, to knowing about the intimidation tactics. Now we arrest him today. Federal warrant. Wire, fraud. Conspiracy. RICO charges. Vera exhaled. Relief, exhaustion. Victory. It's really over? The hard part is, the trial will take time. But yes, you're safe now. Vera started crying. Couldn't help it. Parks put a hand on her shoulder. Gentle, you're incredibly brave. You know that? Vera shook her head. I was terrified, but you did it anyway. That's the definition of brave. Dalton came in. Put an arm around her. You did great, he said. She sobbed into his shoulder. Years of stress releasing. It's over, she whispered. It's really over, yeah. It is. Sheriff Marcus Clayton, arrested at his home, handcuffed. Perp walk on the news, charged with wire fraud, extortion, abuse of office, conspiracy. Bail set at $500,000. Couldn't make it. Stayed in jail. Deputy Marcus Webb, already in custody. Federal charges added, conspiracy. Bribery, assault on a federal witness facing 15 years. Richard Castellano, arrested at his Vegas office. Both FBI agents, dozens of them, seizing computers, documents, files, charged with RICO violations, wire fraud, conspiracy, money laundering. Bail set at $5 million. He made it, but passport seized. The news coverage was massive. Local, state, national, corrupt sheriff and developer, accused of massive land grab scheme. Widow fights back against casino developer, wins. Route 66 station saved by FBI investigation. Maria Rodriguez's reporting went viral. Nominated for a state journalism award, the community rallied even harder. Fundraisers for Vera, donations, support. The station repairs were completed, better than before. New storage room, updated equipment, fresh paint. Volunteers did most of it. Free because it wasn't just a gas station anymore. It was a symbol of resistance, of community, of doing what's right. The trial was scheduled for spring. But the damage was done. Desert Land LLC dissolved, assets seized, properties returned to original owners, or sold at fair market value to compensate victims. Vera received offers, real offers, fair ones. She declined them. All the stations stayed open. Thriving now. More customers than ever. People came to see it, to support it, to meet the woman who stood up to corruption. Vera hired help. 2 part-time employees, local folks who needed work. The station became a community hub again. Like it was in the old days. Dalton stayed. He didn't go to Montana, didn't need to anymore. He found his peace here, on Route 66. With Vera, with purpose. He worked the station, fixed cars, helped customers, used his workshop skills, his mechanical knowledge. It felt right, like coming home. Zeke visited often. Stayed for weeks at a time. He held Bible study in the station's break room, small group. Mostly elderly folks, veterans, widows, people who needed community. He called it Route 66 Fellowship. It grew, 20 people, then 30. They talked about faith, about life, about second chances. One evening, Vera and Dalton sat on the porch. The sun hung low. painting the sky in shades of amber and rose. Dalton, can I tell you something? Vera asked. When Thomas died, I thought my life was over, that I'd just exist until I didn't, and now I feel alive again, like there's purpose. Thanks to you. Dalton shook his head. I didn't do anything special. You did everything special. You saw someone who needed help, and you helped. No hesitation. Thomas taught me that. 21 years ago, Vera smiled. He had a gift for seeing people. Really seeing them. They sat in comfortable silence. She reached over, took his hand. I have something for you. She handed him an envelope, legal-sized. What's this? Open it, he did. Read the document inside. His eyes widened. Vera, I can't accept this. Yes, you can. It's done. Legally filed, it was a deed. Property deed. 50% ownership of Blackwood's last stop gas station. Joint ownership. Vera Blackwood and Dalton Mercer. This is too much, he said. It's not enough. You saved this place. You saved me. This is Thomas's legacy, and now it's yours too. But, no buts. Your family, Dalton. You always were, since 2003. We just didn't know it yet. Dalton's vision blurred. He folded the deed carefully, put it in his pocket. Thank you, he managed. Thank you. For coming back. For staying. They sat in silence as the sun dipped below the horizon. A car pulled up, a young couple, lost. Needed directions. Dalton stood, walked over. Helped them, gave them directions, checked their oil, no charge. The couple thanked him. Drove off. Dalton came back to the porch. Vera smiled at him. You're a natural, she said. Learned from the best. The first stars appeared. Bright against the deepening blue. What do you think Thomas would say? Dalton asked. About all this? Vera thought about it. He'd say we fought the good fight. We won with honor. Did we win? Or did we just survive? Sometimes surviving with your principles intact is the greatest victory. Dalton nodded. Truth in that. What's next? He asked. We keep going. We keep helping people. We keep this place alive. For how long? As long as we can. As long as it serves a purpose. It'll always serve a purpose. Vera squeezed his hand gently. Then we'll always be here. Spring came, warm, beautiful. Business was steady, life was good. Dalton was under a car, changing oil. When he heard the motorcycle theft sound, not a Harley, something lighter, sport bike. He rolled out, wiped his hands. A young woman dismounted, maybe 25, athletic, confident. She took off her helmet. Long dark hair, green eyes. Excuse me, she said. Is this Blackwood's last stop? It is, Dalton said. Need gas? No, I'm looking for someone. Vera Blackwood. She's inside. Can I ask what this is about? The woman smiled. Nervous, I think. I think she might be my great-aunt, Dalton blinked. What? My name is Emily Morrison. My great-grandfather was Thomas Blackwood. He had a brother. My grandfather. They lost touch in the 70s. Morrison's same last name as Dalton. His mind raced. Thomas had a brother? Yes, Robert Morrison. He took his mother's maiden name. Family dispute. Long story. Dalton's heart pounded. Wait here. He went inside. Found Vera at the counter. Vera, there's someone here. Says she might be Thomas's great-niece. Vera's face went pale. What? Emily Morrison. Outside, Vera rushed out. Saw Emily. Stopped. They looked at each other. Emily pulled out an old photo. Handed it to Vera. Do you recognize this? Vera took it. Two young boys, Lutz brothers, 1940s. One of them was clearly Thomas. Young. Maybe 12. This is Thomas, Vera whispered. Where did you get this? From my grandfather, Robert. He died last year. Left me letters. Photos. Told me to find Thomas's family. Vera started crying. Robert. I remember him. Thomas talked about him. They fought. Over land. Over money. Never spoke again, I know. My grandfather regretted it. Every day. He wanted to reconnect, but pride stopped him. Emily's eyes filled too when I saw the news stories. About you. About this place. I realized, your family. Vera hugged her. Tight. Your family. You're here. That's what counts. Dalton watched. Stunned family. Across generations. Finding each other circles of kindness. Coming back. Emily saw Dalton. Extended her hand. Thank you for helping my great-aunt. The news said you saved this place. I just did what was right. That's more than most people do. They talked for hours. Shared stories. Photos. History. Emily was a veteran. Army. Served in the Middle East. Now studying engineering, Colorado. She'd ridden her bike across the country, looking for family, for roots, and she found them on Route 66 at a gas station her great-uncle built. Vera insisted she stay. Guest room upstairs. As long as she wanted. Emily accepted, grateful. That night, they had dinner, all four of them, Vera, Dalton, Zeke and Emily, chosen family and family together. Emily looked around the table. Can I say something? Of course, Vera said. I've been searching for belonging for years. Since I got back from deployment. Never felt like I fit anywhere, she paused. Emotion in her voice, but sitting here, with you all, I feel like I'm home. Vera reached across, held her hand. You are home. This is your family. Your legacy. Emily smiled through tears. Thank you for welcoming me. Thank your grandfather. He made sure you'd find us. Dalton raised his glass. Sweet tea, to Thomas, to Robert, to finding what we didn't know we'd lost. They all raised their glasses, to family. The sign was new, bright, professional, Blackwood's last stop, family owned since 1952 underneath. Smaller letters, Vera Blackwood. Dalton Mercer, Emily Morrison, proprietors, 3 names, 3 generations. 1 family. The station thrived. Emily moved to Arizona. Transferred her school. Engineering degree online. She worked the station. Managed social media. Brought in younger customers, cracked a Route 66 heritage tour. People came from everywhere to see the station that stood against corruption, to meet the people who fought back. Dalton ran the mechanical side. Built a small workshop. Expanded services, classic car restoration, motorcycle repair. Word spread. Bikers came from across the country. Hells Angels, other clubs. Veterans. They worked on their bikes, shared stories, found community. Vera oversaw it all, matriarch. Part of the operation, she was 77 now, slower, but sharper than ever. She'd started writing a memoir about Thomas, about the fight. About second chances. A publisher was interested. Small press, but real. The trials concluded. Clayton. 7 years federal prison. Badge revoked permanently. Webb. 5 years. Permanent rec. Castellano. 12 years, millions in fines, assets. These other developers saw the news, stayed away. Route 66 was protected. Heritage designation. Federal protection. No one could develop it without community approval. The other 11 property owners got their land back. Most stayed, built, thrived. The corridor became a destination again. Right 66. The Mother Road. Alive. Maria Rodriguez won her journalism award. She still visited twice a year. Always brought her kids. Show 'em, she'd say to Vera. Show them what one person can do. The 11 other property owners formed an association, Route 66 Heritage Coalition. Vera served as president. They protected each other now. No developer would try this again. Zeke split his time. 3 months in Albuquerque. 3 months here. Running Route 66 fellowship both places. God's work doesn't require an address, he said. Just willing hands. One afternoon, Dalton sat on the porch. A car pulled up. Family, kids in the back. The father got out. Approached. Excuse me. Is this the famous gas station? From the news? Dalton smiled. Yep. That's us. Can we take a picture? My kids are studying it in school American history class. Of course, Vera loves meeting people. The family came in. Vera greeted them. Warm. Gracious. Told them the story. Showed them photos. The kids listened, wide-eyed. Amazed you really fought the FBI, one asked. Vera laughed. No, honey. The FBI helped us. We fought the bad guys together, and you won? We did, because we didn't give up. And because we had help. She pointed to Dalton. To Emily. To the photos on the wall. Community. Courage. Standing up for what's right. Those things are stronger than money. Stronger than power, the kid nodded. Thoughtful. They took pictures, bought gas. Souvenirs, left happy. Inspired. After they were gone, Dalton and Vera sat together on the porch. Like they did most evenings. The highway stretched endlessly before them. You ever think about Montana? Vera asked. Dalton smiled. Sometimes. But this is better. Why? Because Montana was about running away. This is about standing still, and that takes more courage. Vera nodded, understanding. Emily came out, sat with them. Social media's blowing up, she said. That family posted pictures, already got 5,000 likes. Is that good? Vera asked. Emily laughed. It's very good. We'll be busy tomorrow. Good. Busy is good. They sat together, 3 generations. As twilight settled in, a motorcycle rumbled past. Harley. The rider waved. Dalton waved back. Route 66. Always moving, always changing. But some things stayed the same. Good people, helping each other, Building community. That was the legacy, not the station. Not the land, the people, the values. The love. Vera stood, stretched. I'm going to bed. Big day tomorrow. She kissed Emily's forehead, squeezed Dalton's shoulder. Good night, family. Good night, Vera. She went inside. Lights off upstairs a few minutes later. Emma, Lee and Dalton remained. She's amazing, Emily said. How she survived all this. She's the strongest person I know. Do you think she'll ever retire? Sell? Dalton shook his head. This place is her life. She'll run it till she can't anymore, and then we will. You and me. Keep it going. For her. For Thomas. For everyone who needs it. Emily smiled. I like that plan. Me too. They sat under a canopy of stars. Desert night. Perfect. Peaceful. Dalton, can I ask you something? Emily said. Sure. Do you ever regret it? Staying? Giving up Montana? He thought about it. Honest answer, no. Montana was about getting something. I chose beginning. That's beautiful. That's truth. A shooting star streaked across the sky. Emily gasped. Did you see that? I did. Make a wish. Dalton smiled. Don't need to. Already got everything I need. Emily looked at him, understanding. Yeah. Me too. They sat until midnight, talking, laughing, remembering. Then they went inside, locked up, turned off the lights. The station stood silent, but alive, waiting for tomorrow. For more travelers. More stories. Route 66 never slept. Not really. And neither did the people who protected it. The people who understood. Some things are worth fighting for. Some things are worth saving. And some things, like family, like community, like love, are worth everything.